Yay!
I'm just gonna refresh the page.
Yeah, we're live. It's alive.
Awesome, we are live. Welcome, everybody. Good morning. Today on the show on Chit Chat and Geek Out, we are joined by the cast from Hellbound, Hellraiser 2. Please welcome to the show Barbie Wilde, Nicholas Vince, and Simon Bamford.
Hi there.
Hi. Hi, guys.
Thank you guys so much for being here. It's a real honor to be speaking with you guys. I'm so lucky. I'm so grateful to have you guys. I'm like, big fan. I mean, Hellbound, Hellraiser 2 is a lot of people's sequels in the horror genre, and it's so amazing. Like, it just I want to thank you guys so much for just taking the time and chatting with me today. It's a real pleasure. I'm really looking forward to interviewing you guys.
Well, I apologize for the technical problems on my side that meant that we started a little late.
Oh, no worries, Barbie. No worries.
Yeah, Barbie has to have, it's in her contract, she has to have a specific shade of lipstick for all the interviews. And that shade wasn't quite right, so we couldn't go live until she got the correct one.
You only wish you could have my lipstick, darling.
Oh my god.
It doesn't match me.
He's only saying this because he's in a different country from her.
Oh my god.
Okay. I
All
just
right.
wondered if I could put this someplace so I don't have to hold my phone up this whole time.
Yeah, it's fine. Prop it up.
It probably looks like I'm sort of being interrogated.
It looks
The
like
lighting
you're
is
in...
so much nicer on my laptop.
Let's see here. One of my first questions I had for you guys was I just want to know, like, what's new in life, and do you have like any upcoming projects you like to plug for the show?
Yep.
Sure.
Ladies first.
I'll start because I've got, oh shit, I keep blocking my camera. Because I have awkward technical issues. Okay. What should we start with first? Audio book out at the moment of The Venus Complex, my Diary of a Serial Killer novel, narrated by the King of Pain himself, Doug Bradley. That's pretty cool.
That's amazing.
And got some wonderful readers about that. Also have a beautiful deluxe edition short horror story collection. Every story has been illustrated by top authors, artists in the field, like Clive Barker, Danny Sarah, tons of people.
Amazing.
Working on a script for Zulu Zombies, been doing that for a long time.
Right.
It's a Zombies, but not as we know it, movie script. Also working with Chris Alexander, ex-editor-in-chief of Fangoria, on a movie script.
Awesome.
Blue Eyes, and that's sort of like Charles Bukowski meets some necrophilia, and it's disgusting. But hey, that's my signature.
And I was gonna say too, Barbie. So yeah, I read your book. You sent me the audiobook a couple weeks ago. I read your Cenobite stories and the Voices of the Damned, and I thought it was so interesting because it's like you wrote like pretty much a prequel about your character.
I'm sorry, you blocked out a bit.
I said I found it really interesting. It was a prequel about your character in the Cenobites.
Well, technically speaking, because of legal issues, it's actually all the characters are based on the original novella on which Hellraiser is based on, which is The Hellbound Heart by Clive Barker.
Right.
The lead Cenobite in that story, it just happens to be a female Cenobite. So technically speaking, that's the inspiration for it. But obviously, coming from the Hellbound Cenobite world, I was able to use a little bit of my own experiences as well.
Right.
So,
it's awesome.
Yeah. No, it's great fun. I'm actually working on a fourth story as well.
Amazing. Can't wait for that. Keep me up. Keep me posted.
I will do. She meets some very interesting, nasty people in it.
Awesome.
So my female demon, for those of you unfortunate enough not to have read Voices of the Damned, published by SFP Publications.
Yes.
Anyway, guys, sorry about this. I should point out that I have to shoot off, which is why I sort of barreled in there first.
That's okay. No worries.
Yeah.
Nicholas?
Oh, okay. I got lots.
Oh, I'm sorry. One more thing. Of course. Simon and I are going to be in another Dark Ditties TV show.
Awesome.
Now, am I correct in remembering that this is actually a feature-length one? Song.
It is, yeah, it is, yeah. Dad.
Yeah. And I get to scream a lot, which I'm really good at. And but I'm only in it for a little bit. But Si's got a fantastic part.
Amazing.
And Tim Dry is in it as well, who played the monster in the Extra. Have you seen Extra, Stephen?
Extra?
Extra.
Extra, yeah. So I said I've heard of it. It's popular in the horror community. I know a lot of my friends talk about it. I haven't seen it yet, though.
No, he played the monster in that, and he's gonna be a part in it as well. So
awesome.
That's another upcoming thing, very important. But that hasn't started filming yet. But,
very cool.
Out soon, available on Amazon Prime.
Awesome.
Okay, back to you, Nico. I'm sorry for interrupting.
Okay, right, where should we start? Okay, so we have got Book of Monsters, which is going to premiere at Fright Fest.
Nice.
Sorry, not Book of Monsters. That was last year.
That was last
Book of Monsters was last year. Sorry, For We Are Many from Hex Media will premiere at Fright Fest. Book of Monsters is out on Amazon Prime in the US. That premiered at Fright Fest last year. It's done incredibly well. Epic, Dread Central, Dread Presents have presented that in the UK. In the US, it's just about to be released in the UK on Amazon Prime. And I think they're going to be doing, I'm not quite sure, I think they're going to be doing a DVD release of that as well. As I say, the horror anthology movie from Hex Studios called For We Are Many, that's going to be premiering at Fright Fest.
Nice. In
August, at the end of the month. And I've got a couple of roles in that. The film Borley Rectory, which stars Julian Sands and Reece Shearsmith, about the most haunted house in England.
Wow.
That is going to be on DVD, Blu-ray from Nucleus Films fairly shortly. It's on it's pre-sales at the moment, and it will be, and it was #1 on Amazon's horror.
Wow, congrats. That's amazing.
Within a day of it going on. So I've got a lovely part in that. Really enjoyed the filming that one. And then there is, Barbie mentioned Dark Ditties. I'm not sure Simon will talk about Dark Ditties in a moment, but that's on Amazon Prime as well with Simon. And then there's a film called The Black Gloves from Hex Media, The Hollower, whole load of stuff, film stuff. Oh, and Fuck You, Immortality, one of my favorite titles. It's on the festival circuit. That's an Italian movie. Where I played a monster without makeup. That's really good fun. That's out. That's, as I say, that's on the festival circuit at the moment. In terms of writing, we're talking about Hellraiser origin stories. There is a book here called, I'm not sure if the audience can see this because I think I'm looking at Stephen. So yeah, okay, I'm on the big screen. That contains my origin story for the Chatterer.
Nice.
Which is definitely based on the film rather than the book.
Right.
Because, based on the film rather than the book, because by that stage it came directly from Clive. It was published by Clive's Seraphim Company. So yeah, that's that. There's something else I'm going to be announcing in the next couple of weeks. Going to be signing the contract for that today. So if you go to meant to have that set up. If you go to my website, probably tomorrow or sometime after, there should be a newsletter set up on my website. Might get that done this afternoon, which will give you an idea. If you join up with the newsletter, you can get early notice about what it is I'm going to be talking about in the next couple of weeks. I think it's the 20th or something. I can actually next weekend. I definitely should be announcing it properly next weekend. So keep an eye on the website and you'll be able to join up for a newsletter. And it's huge. It's the largest thing I think I've ever attempted.
Wow.
Particularly, it's going to be me by myself. So yeah, more on that next weekend.
Congrats on that. That sounds amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, it's great. It's going to be really good fun. And it's terrifying, absolutely terrifying. But, yeah, I think people are going to enjoy it.
Yeah. How about you, Simon?
Well, one of my really urgent projects is I'm going round to Barbie's house, and I'm going to rewire her old 1970s Russian Wi-Fi because I think she needs it doing quite urgently.
I need my wiring redone, darling, and you're the only man to do it.
So that's kind of top of my list.
Oh my God.
He's such a dab hand, actually, with you know, do it DIY. It's astonishing. No one would know, you know, but he really took. Can you just get on with what you're really doing, Mr. Bamford?
Yeah, I can be wiring all sorts of things really. But so my first job is I'm co-producing a film which starts shooting in a week and a half's time, which is a bit scary, called The Invisible Collection with Ian Gelder, who plays Kevin Lannister in Game of Thrones. And
oh wow.
Mark Wingett, who was in Quadrophenia, and a British series over here called The Bill, which you probably won't have heard of. So that's quite exciting.
Is that a feature film, Simon?
No, it's a short. It's a short. In aid of a charity called the Phoebe Research, which is
wow,
which is good. And then Dark Ditches, which I've been involved in, it's a 6-part TV series, which we've been doing for a few years now. The next episode is about to go live. So 3 episodes are live on Amazon Prime. If you've got Amazon Prime, it's free.
Very cool.
It's like Black Mirror meets American Horror Story.
Oh, wow. Those are 2 amazing shows.
Yeah, and it kind of mixes them up. A little bit of Twilight Zone in there as well. So they're fun to do.
I love those type of shows.
We get to play different parts in each episode, which is quite interesting. Again, it's got the guy from Game of Thrones is in it, and some English actors who probably... there's Nick and Barbie and I and the guy who played Skinned Frank from Hellraiser.
Okay.
And also
Ken Cranham.
the wonderful
Oliver Smith.
who he's been in quite a few of them now, Ken. So quite a few of us from Hellraiser were in episode 1, which was called The Offer. Episode 2 was called Mrs. Wiltshire, which is about a woman trapped in a house by the spirit of her abusive dead husband.
Oh, wow.
I played the old woman.
I saw the picture on Facebook. I was going to say, like, what movie is that from? What show?
Oh, she would have liked you, Stephen. She
oh, my God.
Simon did a brilliant job. Brilliant.
Thank you, Barbie. That's
really
really kind. And then episode 3, I played a Birmingham. So he's like, this is an accountant from Birmingham. You probably can't understand a word I'm saying now. Who's stolen from the mob. And came to a real sticky end. So and episode 4 is The Witching Hour, which is about to come out on Amazon Prime in the next few weeks, I think.
Amazing. That's awesome.
5, which Barbie talks about, is called Dad. It's very moving script. It's like a zombie apocalypse, slightly set in the future. Like episode 5, which was also a feature-length episode. It's got quite a big cast, and but it's very moving. It's very moving. I won't say any more than that. And then episode 6, I think they're hoping to bring us all back in for as well. So there's those. I've also got what else is out there? There's something else out there I should be talking about, but I can't remember what it is.
Should mention as well, Stuart Conran, who was on Hellraiser, did the makeup for Simon for Mrs.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, really? Oh, wow, that's a cool fact.
I've got her. It was a lovely prosthetic he did for me, and I've got one of the prosthetics from the last day's shooting. I've got it in my bathroom. So,
oh my,
Mrs. Wiltshire kind of watches me pee every day. Kind of reminds me, and you don't forget to wash your hands after you've been.
Oh my God. That's so good. So
That sounds
good.
horrible.
And also to let everybody
That
know,
will stay with me forever and ever. That
Yeah.
image.
Yeah. I would say, just so everyone know, I left all the contact information. I left, so check here, like to keep updated to see what Barbie, Simon, and Nicholas are up to. I left Nicholas's website, Instagram, Twitter, and his IMDb. I left Barbie Wilde's website, Facebook, Twitter, and IMDb. And I left Simon's Instagram, Twitter, and IMDb. So if you guys want to keep updated, see what they're up to, definitely go check them out there. And all the links are down in the description below.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. My next question I had was, I want to talk about some past projects, not necessarily Hellraiser. So what I did was I looked through you guys' resume. I'm like, I gotta point this stuff out because all these like few things are like interesting to me. So Nicholas, you used to work for, you had the chance to work with Marvel Comics and write them stories for like the Hellraiser and Nightbreed comics. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So yes, I absolutely are right. I was really lucky. So when we were making Nightbreed, I met a whole load of comics creators during the filming, because there was a day when we had Clive brought all his mates in as the crowd.
Right.
And it was John Bolton, who's an artist. Neil Gaiman was there. I'd known Neil anyway, Neil Gaiman. And basically, the usual thing, through sheer chutzpah, I walked into them. I was going to New York, used the money for the Nightbreed to go to New York,
Right.
walked into the Marvel offices, no appointment, anything,
Wow.
and just asked to see. I knew the editor, name of the editor, Dan Chichester, and just asked to see him and pitched him the story I'd written on the flight over.
Mm-hmm.
And he bought it, and he sort of said, okay. And I said, that's brilliant. No idea how to lay out a script for a Marvel comic. So I remember he just flung one across the room. He said, it looks like that. I was like, okay, great. Got back to the UK and phoned up Neil Gaiman saying, Neil, what do I do? And he was very supportive and very helpful. Yeah, and through that, I ended up by doing Hellraiser. I think about 4 or 5 Hellraiser stories. Then I wrote 1, 2, 3, 4 issues of the Nightbreed comic. Wrote the last 2 in particular. It was supposed to be 6, but they cancelled the comic. So I had to squeeze in. If you ever come across the last issue of Nightbreed,
I've seen them before. I think I actually do own a few of them. I own a few different ones of them because I own a lot of horror comics. I know for sure I own at least 3 issues of the Hellraiser.
Yeah. I think there was I can't remember how many, 16 or 18. But anyway, I certainly did the last 2 and a couple more before. I think the last 2 and so on. So yeah. And through that as well, I ended up by writing for Marvel UK as well, and did a thing called Warheads.
Oh,
and
wow.
Another limited series called Mortigan Goth. It was really good fun. I get work with amazing artists like Mark Buckingham, who is doing an awful lot of stuff. And Barbie and I appear, well, I'm more noticeable in one of the Hellraiser stories. Barbie and I modeled for John Bolton for that. Oh, and I also, because I've done quite a bit of modeling for artists, I modeled for Dave McKean for his book Cages as well. So yeah, I loved doing comics. It's really interesting stuff.
Amazing.
Yeah,
that's amazing chance you got to work with them and do all that stuff and meet all these artists and write stories. That's great.
Yeah, I was so lucky. Lucky.
Yeah. Barbie, for you. So I looked you up on YouTube and I'm like, oh my God. So the whole week, you're gonna laugh, the whole week, that song Phantom Lane's been stuck in my head like all week. I'm like, okay, I gotta talk to you about your scene career, because you did a scene career in the 80s. Can you talk a little bit about how you got into that?
Oh, right. Yeah, it's funny because I was doing an interview last year, and right at the end, the guy said exactly the same thing you just said. He said, I think that Phantom Lady is the great unreleased, single of the 80s. And I just, because I've been working with After my group broke up, we were signed to RCA Records. We had a couple of single releases, and we had toured relentlessly,
Right.
and we'd had a center 2-page thing in the Sun, which is this huge newspaper in the UK, but nothing happened, and we all got frustrated, and in the end broke up.
Okay.
And then I was working with our producers, Richard Burgess and John Walters. Richard Burgess had produced Spandau Ballet. I don't know if you guys are probably not even old enough to remember.
I know. Wait, I know what's that one hit that they do? Because I know that name.
Well, the Gold was one, True, but he produced,
True. That's it.
Yeah, he produced, to cut a long story short, and Chant Number 1, which is much better in my opinion. But anyway, so he was producing stuff. I nearly signed to EMI, and then it went tits up, as they say in the UK. And so what I decided to do was go back to acting. But luckily I had the guys who'd done the video for Angel Face, which was the record we had out as Shock, did some videos for me, and it was enormous fun, and I had a pretty good career. And another song of mine, Metal Man, was on a kids' TV show, and I'll never forget the head of A&R of RCA saying this is a hit, but it never got released. So it's yes, it was one of those things. I love doing it, but at the same time, I don't think it was probably right for me as a performer. But Richard Burgess had just moved to New York, and he called up and said, "Listen, I just saw this fantastic girl at Danceteria. She's doing exactly the same thing you are. You can't give up." And I went, forget about it. What's her name? And he said, Madonna. But I don't think somehow I would have been quite as successful as her, because she was one of those people who really was very, very career oriented and would do anything for her career. And everything I wrote was from the heart. But who knows? Maybe Madonna will cover Phantom Lady. That'll be
yes. The hidden gems of the 80s.
Not sure. Hey, Ray of Light was a totally obscure record that William Orbit's sister found in the Remainer bin at Woolworths. Mm-hmm. This little record, and she took it to William Orbit. He heard it, played it to Madonna. She said, "Let's, work on it." And she did the writing credits too. But hey, it can happen. It's basically the last prostitute on Earth. That's the story. You've heard of the last man on Earth. This is the last.
Yeah, that's true. I know it has that. I was like, it has that, like, because I listen to a lot of 80s music and all that stuff. Like, it has that 80s tone to it. It has that same kind of rhythm. I love it though. I love 80s music. It's my favorite type of music. I listen to 80s music all the time.
It was huge, and we used a lot of live musicians in it. Richard encouraged me to play with this band, which wasn't really my thing. I was much more into electronica. But hey, I tried, but it didn't work. So I went back to acting, and then ended up in this horror movie. And
it became one of the biggest horror sequels ever. I mean, people.
Too.
Pardon?
Well, no, it's just when I went back to acting, funnily enough, it was Richard Burgess who got me the part in Grizzly 2, which again has never been finished, but that had George Clooney, Laura Dern.
Wow.
Charlie Sheen playing red shirts. They get killed by the bear in the first half an hour. But it was through my music connections that I got to go to Hungary, and I never saw the bear, sadly. And then after that was Death Wish 3, and then Hellraiser. So my eclectic career.
Amazing. Well, it's cool that you got the chance to work in these different areas of the field, though. You know what I mean? Even though he didn't singing wasn't the strongest, he still got to experience. Back in the day, my dad used to sing and have his 45 and go to the studio, and then I think it's something that a lot of people do as a hobby, and then sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But at least you try. That's all you gotta say, and it was fun.
It's interesting because recently, something horrible happened.
What?
If you come forward, Barbie, come closer to the mic.
Okay. It's hard because normally I just use my laptop. Anyway, I recently used my vocal talents again, doing some demos for my husband, who's a composer. And
Right.
I had to
Oh,
do
wow.
this very operatic voice. And I think he was a bit dubious that
Yeah.
I could do it. But I love the song so much. And I belted it out. Bette Midler meets Tiri T. Kanawa, or whatever her name is, the wonderful opera singer.
Hanawa.
And it was, so I'm singing again.
Right. That's awesome.
So only to be heard, without credit on demos. But hey, who knows?
Yeah. That's awesome. That's so cool. And if anyone wants to see those hidden 80s gems, go on YouTube. They're on there. We have some
Barbie Wilde channel on YouTube.
Yes. We have a few people in the chat. I want to give a shout. Hello, Wendigo and the Nightmare Files, Michael Villegas. Michael Villegas says, Cinnabites, we opened the box. Yes.
Yeah, we came, but we've cleared it up since then.
Yeah. It was such a mess.
Oh my God. Simon, I had a question for you. What was from your past work and your resume? And one of my favorite performances of yours was as Peter Vincent in the Fright Night documentary. At first, when I watched it, I didn't even know it was you. And then I went to your IMDb, like, oh my God, that's him.
No, it was me. The great vampire slayer, my boy. How do you not know?
You did such a good job.
It's extraordinary. I'm really quite upset. Really, very, very upset.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I love that part. I think that's a really underrated part that you had. You did such a great job. I mean, just like
it was, wasn't it? Yes. It was very, very good.
How about
so too? I shouldn't really say, my boy, but I thought it was rather excellent work too.
It is excellent. How about did you get the role of playing Peter Vincent in the documentary?
Well, they asked everybody else, and nobody else said no. We just been
They didn't ask me.
We just been doing the Leviathan documentary,
right?
A 7-hour making of Hellraiser, epic. And
it is epic.
They wanted the next project was going to be the making of Fright Night, and they came up with the idea that Roddy McDowall's character Peter Vincent would do all the links for the documentary, and then they were thinking, well, who do we know who looks a little bit like Roddy McDowall? Who do we know who's that good looking, who's that charismatic and gorgeous? and then they just went, oh, for goodness sake, it's right in front of us, it's Simon. And so they asked me, and I said yes, and they announced it almost instantly on social media, and instantly people were going, well, interesting to see what he does there. I hope it does justice, because we love that film, and it's probably going to ruin it now. And so I felt this enormous amount of pressure to so I did quite a bit of studying for it, and actually it was a really hard job, because documentary stuff like that, it's all facts and figures. There's no kind of emotional stuff to get hold of.
Right.
So learning it was quite tricky.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of fun, and of course Nick and I got to work together. We did some spoof trailers for the Peter Vincent stuff, so we got to work together on that, which was a load of fun too.
That was awesome. That was absolutely, and again it was Stuart Conran who did the makeup.
Yeah, Stuart had Roddy McDowall's live cast. He actually had Roddy McDowall's face, so the face that they put on me was actually Roddy McDowall, which was spooky.
Oh wow! That's so.
It's kind of weird when they make you up.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's kind of weird.
And you get used to looking in the mirror and looking old, and you get used to it. At the end of the day, they take all this stuff off, and you look in the mirror and you go, "Wow, I look really good."
And
that wasn't
we should market it. We should have a special place people can go to where you make them look older. You use their face, but make them look really old for a few days. And they look in the mirror and they see that person, and then when they do take it all off, you actually appreciate what you look like, which is kind of
I was gonna say, shout out to Cult Screenings UK. They're an amazing company, and they release so many great documentaries. One of the new ones that are coming out soon is the Pennywise, the story of it. I think it's called Pennywise, the story of it. And they've come out with so many great ones. So many
They're
great
working
ones.
on the Robert Englund one at the moment as well. They're
Yes,
doing,
that's right. Yeah, they just ended their.
I hope they're going to conclude the incredible film that he did with Doug Bradley called Killer Tongue, shot in Spain. You really
That'd be cool.
have to listen.
Simon, oh my God.
Some of the stories this two can tell about Killer Tongue, I tell you.
Oh my God.
If you
just
want to know about the
title,
Doug,
great title.
when I interviewed Doug, I insisted that he tell us all about Killer Tongue. So if you want to know more about Killer Tongue, check out Chattering with Nicholas Vince, Doug Bradley, because we did go into detail on Killer Tongue. Yes. And I've still not seen it. I'd still love to see it.
Steve, in the UK, we have an old meat product called tongue, which is do you have it over there too?
I don't think so.
It's actually compressed tongue.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my. What kind
well,
of
you can just buy tongue. I mean, you can actually, it's just basically a cow's tongue.
Just a cow's tongue? I've seen a cow's tongue.
Yeah.
But you can get
I've never seen them at, like, we might have them, but you might have to go to, like, specialty markets, not like just a regular grocery store.
My father used to always have tinned tongue sandwiches before he went on his fishing trips.
Oh God.
He was a big fan of sweetbreads and all sorts of innardy things.
Do you guys eat
things that only sort of old-fashioned Englishy kind? He wasn't English, but he just loved tin tongue and beef steak and kidney pie, and he used to take me past the sweetbreads counter at Safeways and look at the size of that tongue, darling.
Oh God. Do you guys have head cheese there?
No, what's that?
Head cheese. Okay, well, I don't know if it was like, because we have it here, but it's like specialty places. It's pretty much like all like I think it's all like the brains and like all like the garbage pretty much scooped up to, I think it's pretty much all the garbage scooped up in like.
I know because I read
I think it's the brain.
House on the Prairie, and the little girls made head cheese for Christmas once, and you take a pig's head and you boil it. And you scrape all the meaty bits off.
That's
it. Put it together into this delicious sort of pate-ish thing in a jelly. The Belgians do it too. I don't know what they call it. It's quite grotesque.
I can't do it. I just heard of it.
Not that I'm head cheesist.
You know your stuff.
How do I know this? I wish I could throw my head away. I just told you how you could make head cheese.
Yes. There you go, guys. A how-to video.
And of course, there's Dick cheese as well, but that's a different product.
Oh
God!
I knew it. I just knew he was going to go there.
Oh my God! I don't even want to know.
3 of us together, Stephen.
It's okay. I actually find this very entertaining. You guys are entertaining me, so it's fine. Next question I had for you guys. I know people ask you stories about working with Clive. Obviously, Clive is an amazing person to work with. I've heard so many amazing things about him. Who is someone that you guys would love to work with that you haven't yet?
Excuse me.
Probably Robert Englund. I'd love to work with Robert Englund. We've met him a couple of times, and he is just so intelligent, so entertaining, so well read.
Right.
I think, if there was anybody as an actor I'd like to work with, it would have to be Robert Englund.
Yeah. He's a really nice guy too. He's amazing.
Oh yeah, really, really cool. Very, very cool guy.
Yeah.
For me, it would be David Lynch. I love David Lynch.
David Lynch. Yeah, it's a good choice.
I just love to work with him. I think he's fascinating.
Awesome. How about you, Barbie?
I've gone completely blank.
Oh no.
I would love to work with Clive again.
Clive again? That's
the first thing. Because he actually was prepping for Nightbreed when Hellbound was coming. So I met him and talked to him a lot afterwards, but not necessarily during the filming.
Right.
So Clive Barker would be the first one on my list. Actually, Neil Gaiman.
Awesome.
Favorite directors at the moment. Why can't I think of any? That's terrible. I love them
James
all.
James
Jen
Oh, I
and,
know.
Jen and Sylvia.
I would love
Jen and
to,
Sylvia.
sorry, I would love to work with the Saska twins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it's
they're
good. Jen and
Canadian as
Sylvia.
well. I'm Canadian. I'm
They're
from Toronto,
Canadian.
so they're
You're
here all the time.
Canadian?
Yeah, I'm 45 minutes north of Toronto, so I'm like,
Oh,
I'd be so
wow.
cool to work with the Saska twins because I want to get into the film industry. I know that they're Canada based, so I'm like, it'd be cool to work on one of their productions.
Yeah. No, it's just they've made the list of famous Canadians so
Yes.
much more interesting.
Yeah,
Actually.
they sure have, especially in the
Because
Indian.
we've lived for so long.
Right.
William Shatner
Even-
and the guy who played Ben Cartwright on Bonanza.
Right.
He was Canadian, and of course Michael J. Fox.
Right.
And,
That's right.
But it's great what they're doing. I can't wait to see Rabbit.
Mhm.
Yes, it's looking really good.
Which is premiering at Fright Fest.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm looking really forward to it. See what they come up with for that. You keep teasing new things, pictures, and all that stuff. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I know
I
you guys
think we
talk-
should all have little free Saska sisters because they've been banned for Twitter.
Yes, I saw that they posted on their Instagram. It's
Yeah,
for like
they
it wasn't
have,
for like a
just
gory
they-
image or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was actually the banner from Fright Fest. And it's makeup. It's not a real person.
Right.
And they've been banned. They should really, get a lawyer involved. It's ridiculous. But hopefully they'll be unbanned soon.
Hopefully.
But
Hopefully.
They've been suspended rather than banned. I think it was a
Right.
time, so they will be coming back.
Suspended.
Yeah.
But somebody came up with this really cute little meme of them behind bars going free the Saskas,
Oh my God.
A little bit. Free the Saskas so they can Twitter again. Or tweet again. Sorry. But anyway.
Yeah.
No, they would be people to work with because they really push boundaries and they have a wonderful feminist agenda too.
Most definitely.
Underneath all their films.
Yeah, of course. Of course. That's a really good pick. I saw this on one of Nicholas's, your past stream of chatting with Nicholas Vince when you and Barbie were talking. So I know you guys discussed it. So I had a couple questions that intertwine. So thoughts on the afterlife and working on the set of Hell. I recently watched the Hellbound movie again recently, and the set on that movie is incredible. The set on that movie is insane. Can you kind of just talk about work on the set, about working on a set of Hell, because it looks so vivid and imagination that put in for that set. It's just insane.
Did we actually get to work on the Hell set, Barbie?
Sorry?
On Hellbound, did we actually have any scenes on the Hell set itself?
Well, we actually were walking down a lot of the corridors from Hell.
Yes, we did.
The actual set where we were with Channard and I don't think Channard was actually there, guys.
No.
Was he? It was that we were looking at him, but we were actually looking at a camera. And then one of the chains hit Doug in the head and knocked off one of his pins, which could have knocked it into his skull. But we were actually, how they do with movies is that a lot was put in afterwards with composite shots and stuff like that.
Of course.
So we didn't actually, we certainly did a lot of Hell's corridors. But if you mean the bit where Julia and the skin and all this sort of comes flying off, we didn't actually, I don't think we saw that. But then again, I was the one who said we never filmed the doctor scene.
Yeah.
And then they found all that footage. Hey, it was
Dr. Channard.
I think what's interesting, the when you get that big long shot overlooking Hell with the Leviathan, the big tall pinnacle box and so on and so forth. Of course, that's matte painting.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's good. But guys may well realize that in those days it was physically painted onto a glass sheet in front of the camera because, of course, it was pre-CGI and special effects and so on.
And Matt was very busy in those days because matte painting was used everywhere.
So
Matt was constantly being employed to do his painting everywhere.
I mean, if you look at a film, just going back to like an old classic film, like it just popped into my head, Black Narcissus, say. That was a lot of that was just people, just these brilliant painters. And I actually have a friend of mine who's still, he's a set designer, but one of the things he does is he goes and he often paints the ceilings of casinos in Vegas, because they have already, they're all clouds and skies and stuff like that. So that kind of incredibly brilliant, talented work, you know, that's sort of unsung. But even in something like, say, North by Northwest, that scene on Mount Rushmore, some of it was actually, they had built faces, but a lot of it was also, you know, paintings, brilliant 3D, almost 3D paintings.
Awesome. Very cool. And yeah, what are your guys' thoughts on the afterlife? Since pretty much the movie that you guys are famous for has to do with death.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, funnily enough, the announcement I'm going to make next weekend is related to that, so I'm not going to talk too much about it.
All right.
I don't want to give anything away.
Yeah, no worries.
But yeah, so that I've been thinking about that a lot in my writing recently. But yeah, I mean, I've written about it in short stories about my experiences, with out of body near-death experiences. In the short stories in the second volume, can't even remember the title of my own short stories. It's bad. I think it depends what you mean by the afterlife. If you're talking about, do we carry on? Does something carry on, say, into our next life in terms of reincarnation?
Yeah.
I think that's the most likely thing, personally. Right. That's the one I'm hoping for.
Right.
Do I believe in ghosts? No. Do I believe that people believe in ghosts? Yes. Very definitely. People very, very clearly believe in ghosts. And that alters your behavior. What you believe is reality. Literally, what you believe is reality.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's kind of what
I hope that's not true, because there's some people in the world who believe in some very nasty things, and I'd hate to think that was, you mean it's their reality?
Yes.
Rather than
Yeah, because their reality. Yes, Barbie, thank you for clarification. Yeah.
Stephen, did you mean the afterlife as in the afterlife of the world or the universe, or the afterlife of Hellraiser?
No, I mean just the afterlife of like what happens when you die type thing. That type. Yeah.
I kind of hope there isn't one, because I would be going down.
You'll find yourself in good company, Simon.
Yes. Oh God, that actually. Never mind. It's like, imagine like once you die.
There's nothing wrong with going down.
I was gonna say, imagine when you die, you guys become real Cenobites.
Oh yeah, that would work.
Well, if you have
that would be cool. At least you'll be in control.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Trapped for eternity, chattering my teeth.
Yes.
You know, people. It was called Hell Incorporated. That's my trademark, chaps. And you know, people come down and they're sort of in this like little area, and then the entrance to hell is got dancing girls and people shaking cocktails and having martinis, and they're about to go into hell. And then heaven is full of very boring people in white jeans and white wings and stuff like that. I hadn't got any further than that. But
that's a great title, Barbie. You must do something with that. It's really good.
Yeah, really. Yeah. Well, it's just that basically heaven was wondering why everybody was going to hell, because it looks so much more attractive than their boring place. So, you know, I've got it somewhere. I should dig it out, you know. Personally, I think there is no rehearsal, and this is it. If I did believe in anything, funnily enough, it is ghosts, but it's probably more interdimensional, or we have no idea what's out there in the dimensions, and whether our souls, if we even have them, go to another dimension.
Exactly.
And then occasionally we break open and we see something or not. You know, that science is, you know, the whatever thing is out, the word is out or whatever. Who knows? Personally, I don't believe, you know, I was a believer at one point, but then I actually have no religious beliefs. I hate using the word atheist because it sounds very negative,
Right.
But I think this is it. There is no rehearsal.
Yeah.
You know, so that's why we should try and be as kind as we possibly can to each other, because, you know, there's no
promises.
relief or forgiveness or whatever. It's just trying to be as good as we can to each other as we go through this crazy, messed up world. You know,
Yeah.
but unfortunately, everybody believes in an afterlife, that they'll be forgiven for everything, and so they act really badly, and shame on them.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
I have to just reminded me of something I learned the other day when doing my research. A German scientist, doctor, calculated the weight of the soul as 20 grams.
28 grams.
20 grams.
Oh, I
Wow.
thought it was
20
28
grams. Basically, he put dying people on beds on large scales.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And waited for them to die, and it's. I do not think it really held up to scientific scrutiny when they
No, I've heard of this too. But one has to remember, when you die, can I say this because it's really disgusting, Stephen? Can I say something disgusting?
Go for it.
Because when you die, certain things happen. Your body like totally relaxes, and certain things leave the body.
Yeah, I know.
You're talking about gaseous discharge, yeah.
You know,
discharge.
I can verify this, that when I have a good shit, it's about 20 grams.
I'm like, oh my God.
You see, I'm trying to be polite here, and then Mr. Bamford mustn't.
It's okay. You guys are funny. I love this. You guys are entertaining me. Now I always like, it's an interesting subject. I don't know, it's just an interesting subject to see what people think about it, because I mean the world's like filled of different like religions and beliefs, so it's just, I find it fascinating myself. Can you talk a little about being your Cenobite character, and if you would you do anything different to your character, and also if you could swap a Cenobite character, who would you want to swap with?
I'd like to have more lines. I often find that sometimes I remind myself, when I look at my character, of Sigourney Weaver in Galaxy Quest. She just repeats what the computer says, and I kind of repeat a little bit of what Doug says. I even say time to play and all this sort of stuff, but he says that in the first one. But I think, as far as to be honest, I was joking. I think the first, I think that she's actually, the character is pretty wonderful. She has power. She can do what she wants. It's hard to improve on that. I think obviously, if you could swap and I could be a female version of Pinhead, yeah, sure, why not? But I'm perfectly happy, being the female Cenobite. And anyway, I'd miss out on all those wonderful questions about my rather dubious throat wound if I was Pinhead.
That's
so I'm
true.
perfectly happy.
That's what makes your character iconic, is that throat, that throat. Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you, Nicholas?
I mean, it was tough playing Chatterer, but like Barbie, I wouldn't swap.
No.
I'm amazing. I just, again, you talked about being lucky enough to write comics and based on Hellraiser and Nightbreed and so on. Chatterer has brought me so much over the years, being, apart from a great title for the YouTube show, it really has brought me so much over the years. I met some amazing people at conventions, and like yourself, fans of the enthusiasts for the film, as Clive would express it. So yeah, no, I perhaps if we'd done more with it, the version of the makeup where I could see, that would be nice. But actually, the fact that he can't see, practically, if they'd been able to do the mask so that I could physically see, but you still had the this image where he's blind, that would be wonderful. That would have been my ideal. In other words, what I was promised when we first did the first movie. That would have been great. But yeah, no, I love Chatterer. He's my buddy. He's my buddy.
How about you, Simon?
Well, having played Mrs. Wiltshire, I thought it'd be quite interesting if I could play the female Cenobites, because you get all this lovely jewelry, facial jewelry and stuff that you can wear, and I just thought it'd be an interesting experiment in. Sorry, Barbie.
Yeah.
You're out. You can play Butterball. Yay! Would be fun if we could all swap. It would be fun if we could all swap.
Hey, you and I could be twins. Twins female Cenobites.
Be like the creepy twins from The Shining, but Cenobite versions.
Oh, that would be so cool.
Yeah. There is a photograph.
We could be conjoined twins.
Yes.
Twins, so we have two heads like they did in American Horror Story.
Yeah.
Simon, there is a photograph.
That'll give us neck aches. I still have a neck ache from months ago. So basically, no, let's not do anything that will hurt us more than we were hurt.
Simon, there's a photograph of Simon and I with Clive where we've swapped masks that comes up on Facebook every so often. So yeah, me wearing the Butterball mask and Simon wearing the Chartreuse mask. That's in cool. The rest of our costumes. It's very weird.
Very weird. Let's say, Barbie, are you okay to be on for maybe an extra 15 minutes just because we came on a little late, or do you have to go?
Can we split the difference and say, yeah, I know that was really bad, but that wasn't my fault.
Oh, it's okay, no worries.
Another 10 minutes?
10, perfect.
Good.
Just go through here. We have a few people watching, and there's some fan questions coming in. When they go into Nightmare said, are there any horror franchises besides Hellraisers you guys like? And if you guys could also be in a horror franchise, which other horror franchise would you guys like to be in? And what's some of your favorite to watch?
Scream. I'd really like to do American Horror Story. I think that would be fun to do. I'm quite late coming to the party with it, so I'm still only, I think, halfway through Hotel. So I'm still quite a long way behind, but I think that would be fun. They do some interesting stuff with that. Awesome. Good cast too.
Yeah. Well, I've not Penny Dreadful, but if it was a film franchise, Scream is one of my favorite franchises.
Me too. It's so fun.
It is. It's just fun, Yeah. Just really good fun. Favorite horror films to watch are still, as I've said so many times before, it's the Roger Corman, Edgar Allan Poe, Vincent Price movies. Those are the ones that I probably watch every so often, frequently.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of. Funnily enough, I was going to say something completely different, and I've totally forgotten what it was. But I think that Nick actually mentioned it, and to be in a film with, say, either Vincent Price or Peter Cushing or Christopher Lee would have just been the ultimate for me, because those are the films I do love. Yes. And I actually think that Peter Cushing's performance as Baron Frankenstein was so perverse. I mean, he's just like really digging it when his girl is being his lover is being murdered horribly by Christopher Lee's monster, and I'm going, oh, you naughty boy, Christopher, but you just don't. Oh, Peter, sorry. But it was just, I love those. Those are the ones that I grew up on. I think modern ones, I'm just a bit of I've got a girl crush on Jamie Lee Curtis. So if I could be in Halloween, that would be,
that'd be amazing.
The first film I saw, I really loved her because she was the geeky girl with books, the 1979 Halloween, and I was that geeky girl with books, and so I just fell in love with her character and the fact that she survived and stuff. And the last one was I haven't seen it yet, but I understand it was very, very highly rated. And I love films that have the females that actually survive.
Yes,
that's what we actually do quite a lot in real life. So can I just actually, before I go, I just want to apologize for my lousy camera work. I've been holding my phone.
Oh, you're fine, Barbie.
Occasionally a thumb goes past, and I just wanted to apologize.
Oh, it's okay, no worries. Another fan in the chat, they asked, as for TV series, what's your favorite horror TV series?
Penny Dreadful.
Yeah, that one was really. I think that show got canceled, didn't it?
It got canceled. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people love that show.
They're bringing it back. They're bringing it back.
Are they? Oh, that's good.
Penny Dreadful LA. I would have to agree with Nick on that. I thought it was extraordinary, absolutely brilliant.
I haven't seen The Walking Dead yet. I haven't started watching that. It's on my list, but again, it's
Oh, I was gonna say, so I was a big fan of The Walking Dead until like about season 7, and after that, it's just like kind of it's the same thing over and over again.
Right,
It's
yeah.
just like I think a good solid series run is like 5 seasons. That's like playing it safe, because like when you carry it on too much, it's like people already know what's gonna happen now.
Yeah.
I mean, like Stranger Things is fantastic. I just finished it last night, season 3, and they're making one more season, and should be interesting. But I mean, I would, if I were you, I would still check out Walking Dead. The first 5 to 6 seasons are probably the best.
Because I'm doing this zombie apocalypse film. I feel I ought to watch the Walking Dead just to kind of see where the best
Right.
way of doing it is.
I would definitely check it. I'm surprised you haven't watched it yet. That show's been on for a long time.
I know.
You'll love it. It's good.
It's funny because when I first heard of a little TV show called Breaking Bad,
Right.
I thought, why would I want to see a TV show about some geezer who gets ill and then has to cook meth? Yeah, right. And then I just watched the first 20 seconds of it because I got Netflix. I thought, oh well, Breaking Bad, let's just watch. And when his little underpants sort of got, I don't know, something happened, and I went, we must watch this because it's so interesting.
Right.
Why am I telling this story?
We're talking about favorite TV series.
Oh, right. That's the whole thing, is that, you see these series and then they go on to the 7th or 8th year. And I think it's because people love the characters. It's
right.
White. To me, that's a horror story. I mean, my God, healthcare is so bad in America. Some poor chemistry teacher has to cook meth. That's a horror story.
Yeah.
As Peter Cushing said, he never considered what he did horror. He said the World War II concentration camps, that's horror. What I do is fantasy, you see. But anyway, I think with horror things, I think Penny Dreadful had a few moments when I was going, whoa, Dr. Van Helsing just walked into somebody else. That's a bit crazy. But then it really got into amazing stuff.
Right.
But it has a certain, I think there are certain shows out there now like Haunting a Hill House, which I haven't seen.
Right. I haven't seen that yet either.
I'm very interested in seeing.
Yeah.
And sort of, Bates Motel and stuff like that. But
Bates Motel's great. I love Bates Motel. It's really good.
That they're mining programs,
right?
That based on movies from the 60s and the 50s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. I love it.
Yeah.
Which kind of takes us neatly into this new rumors going around about the Hellraiser TV series.
Yes, I heard that.
That has just been hitting the social media a lot.
Yeah. That'll be interesting if that's gonna happen.
Certainly, good producers attached to it from it and.
Oh wow!
One.
That's amazing. Hopefully, it comes out in the next couple of years. I'm excited.
Simon, I hope your agent has been in touch with them.
Yes, you guys can return as the Cenobites. That'd be awesome.
Well, it's funny because somebody actually asked me that on Facebook, and I had blessed them. If you're watching now, I'm sorry I haven't answered you. I'm terrible on Facebook Messenger, but I think it's probably highly unlikely that they would ask. Well, you never know though.
Like making like a little cameo, like as yourself, as like a Cenobite. That would be cool.
That's all I ask for.
Yeah. Before we close off here, we have a few minutes left. I usually just ask my guest some hobbies and interests, and something unique that people may not know about you, and then I end off with a plug for the show. You okay with that?
Yeah.
Right. Awesome. So what are some of your hobbies and interests, and something unique people may not know about you?
I have nothing.
Come on.
I work too much.
So for me, gardening.
Okay.
Gardening.
Oh, gardening. Yeah, me too.
And technology. I love technology. So I'm just, in fact, the last 2 days, and of course, Amazon Prime Day is coming up tomorrow. So I've just got, my first Alexa. Who's Simon Bamford? Alexa, who's Simon Bamford? See, that should have upped my IMDb star rating quite a lot now, because all your viewers have got Alexa. They'll be answering all over the world.
Right.
That's the way to do it.
Well, I'm also fascinated by technology because I am a Star Trek fan. When I was a little girl, all I wanted was a tricorder and a night with Mr. Spock.
Yeah.
I love technology, but if you're asking for, I have a total yellow thumb. I actually hate gardening. And my brother keeps sending me, hey, look, we've got new berries, we've got new flowers. And I don't hate flowers or bushes and stuff, but the thought of like my knees hurting and having to wear special gloves and stuff, it doesn't work for me. Not that I diss anybody who loves gardening, because that's fabulous. I appreciate your efforts. What I think, reading books about crime, watching old black and white movies. I recently had a huge Joan Crawford fest, and then watching all the Thin Man films. These are films from the 40s and 50s. And they were just absolutely fabulous, brilliant.
I have to say, I love the Thin Man films as well. If you ever read the Thin Man books,
of course.
He literally has a martini cocktail on every single page of the book. Nick Charles physically takes a drink on every single page of the book.
He does it in the movies too.
I know, the dogs and so on. I have to say, I should say gardening as well. That's the thing that I mostly do.
Awesome.
And on the martinis, Barbie and Doug Pinhead and myself have this tradition when we meet up that we'll always have a martini together. Not Nick because he's teetotal, but so we have a bit of a tradition of martinis together.
Right. Awesome. And I was gonna say, before the plug of the show, do you guys have any upcoming cons you want to plug that you'll be attending?
Upcoming what?
Cons, like Comic Cons, to meet fans. Any come to mind? No.
We'll do the plug.
I know. Sometimes you guys do cast reunions. I see them all the time on Facebook. You guys popping up.
Yeah.
All right. Keep updated, guys. Go follow them on social media. All right. Yeah.
Oh, actually, no, I have. Next weekend, next Saturday in London.
This Saturday?
Saturday in London. Yeah, next Saturday in London. Where the hell am I? I'm in the Camden, at the Electric Ballroom in Camden.
Awesome.
I'm there doing just by myself, just me. So please come along. I knew there was something. Sorry, the complete blank face.
It's okay.
It's terrifying how we all blanked out.
I know. It's like I've just done something like 3 14-hour days in a row, and it's really beginning to show. So yes, next Saturday, Camden.
Awesome. Very cool.
Come and say hello.
Go check them out.
I just want to thank you, Stephen, for having us on your show.
Of course. Thank you so much, guys, for taking the time and taking the time also to reschedule. I really appreciate it.
That's okay, but I also wanted to just say that, well done for your wonderful background, too.
Thank you.
Really?
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm a horror collector.
Wall behind you.
Yeah. I got to get some Pinhead stuff up. Some Hellraiser stuff. I have some stuff over here. Thank you guys so much. And so for the plug, just state your names one by one, and then all together, say you're watching Geek Out Cinema.
Oh.
Okay. My name's Nicholas Vince. I think we're doing one by one.
We do Nicholas, Barbie, Simon.
Okay.
All right.
Hi, my name's Nicholas Vince.
My name's Barbie Wilde.
My name's Simon Bamford.
And you're watching
Geek Out Cinema.
Cinema.
That was terrible.
No, do it again. You can do it again.
It's the lag. It's the lag.
It's the lag.
Yeah.
You can try again if you want.
Time, chaps. Okay.
All right.
Nico. Alexa, who's Geek Out Cinema?
Stupid. Okay.
If we all do it one at once, then Stephen could edit it afterwards. Okay. That might work as well.
Yeah.
Okay, Nick, do it.
Yeah, okay. Hi, my name's Nicholas Vince, and you're watching Geek Out Cinema.
Hi, my name is Barbie Wilde, and you're watching Geek Out Cinema.
Hi, I'm Simon Bamford, and you're watching Geek Out Cinema.
That was perfect. Thank you guys so much. I'll edit that together. That'll be awesome.
Wait, sweeties. I'm so sorry. My thumb was in front of the lens. I'll do it one more time.
Okay.
Hi there. My name is Barbie Wilde, and you're watching Geek Out Cinema.
That was awesome. I really appreciate you guys. Have been a blast to talk to you. I appreciate you guys so much for taking the time today and be on my show. Keep in touch, and I'll send you guys the link to the show afterwards. And anyone that's watching as well, please go check out Nicholas, Simon, and Barbie all on social media. All the links are down in the description below. And yeah, thank you guys so much, and I hope you guys have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers,
Thanks for
Steve.
having us.
Thank you.
Of course,
Bye.
anytime.
Bye.
Cheers, guys.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Arrivederci.
Yeah, thank you.
How do you leave?
You just hold on. I'll start the broadcast. Hold on.